In just the past few weeks, troops have arrested hundreds of suspected terrorists, foiled attempted attacks in the northeast, and intensified border patrols against threats spilling over from the Sahel. Yet, despite these gains, fresh violence in the northwest and middle belt continue to claim lives, raising tough questions about intelligence, prosecutions, and long-term stability, with growing concerns about terrorism, banditry, and even threats to Nigeria's territorial integrity. We ask the question, is the military truly winning this war? And what must change for Nigerians to feel safer in their homes?
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel TELECAST TV. I'm Miracle Angala. You're watching a conversation with the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, speaking about the security in the country, how he vows to tackle insecurity, the opportunities and the technological improvement and the strides of how far he has gone in tackling insecurity. Endeavor to watch to the end. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, subscribe, like, comment, and share your thoughts. Don't miss trending videos.
Joining me tonight for this conversation is the Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, for an exclusive conversation on the state of national security. General, thank you so much indeed for joining us today.
Good to be here again.
On behalf of Channels Television, I just wanted to send you to all of the troops and the men on the ground that we wanted to say thank you for the service you're doing for our nation.
Thank you very much.
Risking your lives, being on the borderlines, being on the forefront, in the war front, and fighting these wars that we cannot fight for ourselves. Thank you so much, and good job that you and your men have been doing.
Thank you very much.
Having said that, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Still work to do.
Can you bring us up to speed? So many arrests, over 200 we understand. But where are we today in our war against terror and in defending our territorial integrity? Is there a summary that you can give us as to where we are today?
Yeah, thank you very much, Shaun. Always a pleasure to be here. And thank you again for appreciating what the troops are doing. I think that goes a long way in really raising the morale of the troops. And that's what we want to also inform Nigerians that is always very important. These are a few good guys that are standing up to ensure that people can sleep well, Nigeria can continue to thrive well and develop. And it's very important that we make them understand that we appreciate what they're doing, the sacrifice. It's not easy. They have families just like any other person, and they're standing there day, night, rain, storm, whatever, and doing so well. Where we are now is, I think we should be very grateful that things are really picking up well. Yes, we'll not have 100%. I don't think there's any country that has 100% of peace. These issues will be going. And 16 years we've been at this, and it's not something within 2 years that will be able to stop it. But I can tell you we've made giant strides. We just mentioned about the Ansaru commanders that were arrested. This is one of the most significant arrests that have been made. And getting the two of them shows how detailed and how the planning went through, and that's how they were able to pick the two of them. These are guys that have been hunted for a very long time, and we're able to get them. And it shows that the intelligence and the operational works are working together. And for us, what is really has changed is that we have the synergy with all the organization. What we are doing is we are doing all of the nation approach in dealing with this, and that's why you see these successes are coming in. It's not going to be easy. It's not just going to stop overnight. But like I can tell you that north, south, east, west, central, all things are improving by the day. It's going to get well. It's going to get better. But we need to work at it. And then we're not going to rest on our oars, because the tendency is you think you have done this and then you go to sleep. No, it means there should be more work. Now we have to go deep down, and that's what we're doing. And I want to assure Nigerians that besides seeing the physical that we're doing, there are people that are working covertly day and night, picking out these guys, picking out all those cells that are sleeping, spreading all over, and we're keeping them in the mute and taking care of them. And so I can assure you that it's going to be better, and it will continue to be better.
Particularly, and speaking with you tonight, you stand as as a figure, representational of a lot of people in uniform.
Correct.
And I don't usually do that, but I like to call out a few people. The likes of Tosin Ajayi at the DSS, the man in the NIA, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, those who are doing quiet work that Nigerians don't hear. Some of them, they cannot talk. Some of them, they cannot say what they are doing. But they are quietly working on the ground. Correct. Our nation has been besieged by these elements that want to bring our nation down, and they're killing innocent people. Imagine those who went to mosque early in the morning, early morning prayers in Malum Fashi local government area, and they butchered, killed them in the mosque. How dastardly how callous can
and that is what we're saying. Now you look at what is driving this kind of people. How can you just wake up, go and see individuals and just kill them? It shows you there's a lot of evil, there's a lot of deranged individuals that are just going around because of ideologies they feel that people must be with them. If you're not with them, then you're an enemy. And that's why you see them taking either Christians, Muslims, because they don't respect religion, they don't respect border. And that is very critical. And that's why we want to appeal to Nigerians, especially those that think they can hide them for one reason or the other. Because why this thing keeps on thriving is we have some individuals that still support them, directly or indirectly, either through giving them funds, providing fuel, providing logistics that keeps them going, hiding them. And that's why we appeal to all Nigerians to put hands together. If we don't give them space, they will never try. And that's the best way to go about it.
Who support? We know the war is there, and we cannot. We report these things every day: the killings, the attacks, and we know that it's far from over. But we are together in this war, and get our confidence here on this side as a media, as a leading voice in the media space, that we will support you in terms of information management and all whatnot. We will still ask critical questions, but know that you've got our support.
I know,
and we
appreciate
we may not carry the guns, but in spirit, we are in this together.
And it's part of the non-kinetic effort we're talking about, because we are enlightening the public. This opportunity for us to talk to them directly, to know that they are partners, we are all partners in progress. For us to defeat this, we need everybody to be on board.
The defeat must first come.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
General, let's begin our conversation true and true. And I'd like to ask you some very tough questions tonight, beginning with a long-time promise of government, not only in this government, about the announcement of terrorism financiers in this country. Why is it difficult to name names of those who are financing terror in this country?
Well, I think the process is on. I mean, for this government, I can say that just last week, the Attorney General and other ones have gone to Giwa to go and check, because it has to do with a lot of legal issues. And because, again, it has to do with international connections. Some of them have funds coming from outside. We cannot do anything from within.
So we know that we know some of these elements.
Like the ones,
the local ones.
The local ones, what they do normally is they try to employ a few individuals, provide motorcycles to them, something to do, and those ones are remitting funds daily into some accounts.
Really?
Yes, so it's been tracked. Those are issues.
So all the monies they get from the bandits go into...
So they try to circulate this money, and that's why it's important for us to be able to track those things. And the NFIU has been doing so much. There is so much going, apart from the intelligence setup, the financial links are also being followed through and through, and arrests have been made. And I can assure you that the Attorney General of Federation, the NSA are all working seriously to ensure that we address those issues.
What would you say is the ideological backing for financing terror on Nigerian soil? Take from the Northeast region, and I'd like to be educated if there is some kind of funding for banditry too, because we do know that terror in the Northeast is being backed by some foreign element and with connivance with local element. Is banditry also being backed by foreign funding?
You know, they work. You know, criminals work together. They've synergized their efforts together, both the bandits and the terrorists working together because one, a common goal. They want to make money. They want to just make sure that the communities are not suffering for whatever reason. And again, some part of politics. You know, some individuals don't also want, when there is peace, it shows that the government is doing well. And when there's no peace, it shows the government is not doing well. And I mean, you realize that last year we had the least number of deaths throughout last year. Then how come this year, then suddenly everything has spiked up because politics is coming in, elections are coming in. So you cannot rule out the fact that some people are also controlling them, making sure that they show that there is no peace.
Makes Nigeria ungovernable.
Some
And discredit the government.
But you see, the funny thing is that how will you want to govern people that you want to kill? Or how do you want to kill the people you want to govern? What do you gain from it?
Are you not able to identify these political elements who are using security as a political tool?
Yeah, you know, work is in progress.
Let Nigerians know that.
Yes,
people should not vote for people who want to kill.
Work is in progress.
So that they can get advantage.
They don't care what happens. I can tell you the DSS, the NIA, the NFIU, the DIA are all working assiduously to ensure that. And again, because it has to do with the legal system. Sometimes legal intercepts, you take it to court, it's knocked out. What reason? One reason or the other. Again, this brings us to the legal system. We have to also review our legal, because some of the punishments and prosecutions are too.
So we need a special security tribunal to prosecute.
Well,
this is part of where
I don't want to say special tribunal. If I say tribunal, it might look as if it is a military kind of say we're in a democracy. So maybe if we have special courts that will treat cases as quickly as they are, and that is very important. And I think we need to also review the punishment for offenses. We need to do that so that we make it very. I give you an example in the South. We arrest a vessel, we take care. How much is it? They give them peanuts, and the vessel is back. And that's why we started burning them. But again, people started talking about the environment. So you are now caught between the devil and the devil city, which is, for us, burning those items once they are found arrested, we started having peace. But as long as we keep on arresting them and handing them over and they go through the legal system, it becomes a problem.
It takes a longer time
to prosecute. And when you take, and I'll give you an example. You make arrest and you bring up and you go in, risk all your life, make an arrest, and you take it, and they give you for one reason or the other technical issues. The item is released. Tomorrow you think that soldier is ready to sacrifice himself to go and make arrest again, it becomes a problem. But if these laws are stringent, even for terrorism, in the South, in the Middle East, terrorism cases are serious cases. If your name gets in there, you are nobody, even your family member, nobody will come. You have to extricate yourself. Yeah, and so we have to make it more stringent.
Yeah, and I take this opportunity to talk to lawmakers because they represent every part of the country. They are recess right now. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, should be listening. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abbas, should be listening tonight. Now, the frustration the military said they are experiencing is about our body of laws and how long and how frustrating some of our legal system is encouraging terrorism. Can we do something about it? If truly some of you serve in the interest of Nigerians, let's start doing something and let's start kicking some of these things off our list of things that frustrate our effort in keeping our country safe. So the legal system is a bit frustrating.
It is frustrating.
We need to unbundle
it and we make it faster and then make it more stringent. I think that will really change. Because once people don't know that they can get away with anything, I mean, that's impunity sets in. And that's critical. And we cannot prosecute.
We know this, in fact, plus the names and the lists that were inherited from the Buhari government. So we have a long list of terror financiers, right?
Of course, yes.
So, but it's difficult to name them.
No, it's not difficult, but I don't know them because I don't work directly. But I can tell you that the Attorney General is working on it. Prosecutions have started. I'm sure you know that those ones that did the bombing are already facing prosecution. Yeah. So from their facts, we're getting information and we are treating it as quickly as possible.
And we understand that they have some safe havens in some countries. Are we getting the needed support from some of these countries?
No, of course we are. The problem is that, since Libya fell, that's where the problem started.
Our disaster started.
Disaster started since Libya fell. And now Libya, Sudan is in turmoil.
The Sahel.
The Sahel is open.
It's open.
They have markets where you go there, you can buy any kind of ammunition you want, any kind of weapon you want. That is ungoverned.
Not even in the black market.
Not anything you want to buy, you can get
market.
Open. And then everybody flows through, and then the borders are just. And then you understand that Niger is there, Burkina Faso, Mali are also having this issue with the Sahel terrorism. And everybody's interest is to come to Nigeria because they feel Nigeria is rich, Nigeria is large, they can come in and do a lot of things in Nigeria. And one issue we have is Nigerians opening that door. We have large hearts. But again, we have to think of security. Sometimes these guys come in and we say, look, these are our brothers, these are our sisters, these are people coming in, but they don't mean us good. The Lakrawas, when they came in, that was the issue. Boko Haram, when they started, that was the issue. We allow them to fester until they become monsters and start eating us, then we start complaining. We should never allow anybody, any foreigner, an inch of our land for whatever reason.
But our borders are porous, General.
Yeah, but efforts have been made. But again, we need to do a lot, and especially with our neighbors. And I want to assure Nigerians that we're still working together with the AES countries because we know we need them. We need them to be stable. Because if your neighbor is in trouble, the way it is now, you have to stand strong.
Is the military junta in those countries helping at all?
No, we're working with the military. We're working with the military because we know the importance that we must secure ourselves together. Working together, that's one is basic.
So there must be stability in those
we need them to be stable. If not, we're in trouble.
And the most vulnerable country, states like Sokoto,
yes,
Meduguri, seven states across the
1,500 kilometers.
Yeah, and that's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I described to someone how vast those borders are. Is as though you're traveling all the way from Lagos to about Abuja.
No,
that's more than.
No, Lagos to Meduguri.
To Meduguri.
Yeah,
that's how far.
That's how far it is.
Our borders. So just imagine that unmanned and ungoverned. Those borders are.
Nigeria has 4,000 kilometers of border. 4,000 kilometers. Yeah. So it's massive. And that's why it's important that we have bilateral relationship with we're working together with Cameroon, with Chad, with Niger, with Benin Republic, and all this. In fact, when Benin Republic was attacked, we had to send our aircraft to go and provide some level of support for them. Otherwise, it would have been, because if anything happens to them and we say it's not our business, when they come in, it's going to be our business.
So Nigeria military is not only safeguarding Nigeria.
No.
Nigeria is the father of the other smaller countries.
We have done
Keep
that
them safe.
Yes.
And Niger, for example, Niger is bigger than
1.5 times the size of Nigeria.
Exactly.
But with a very small population.
So
they have so much space that is ungoverned.
Yes. And you see these guys.
And that's a challenge.
They attack and they move. They attack and they move in.
Very well.
Difficult, isn't it?
Very difficult. Very.
Give us an understanding. How many years has the military been chasing the emir of Ansaro and his deputy?
No, it's been a long time. When they started about, I think, 5-6 years ago, when they came out really
into
tracking them. And, they kept on moving. Because, again, they cover through darkness. They have some level of support from the locals. Sometimes the ignorance of the locals is what they play at. They make you think it's religion. No, we're doing this. We're just preaching. We're not doing anything. We're your brothers. We're this. The intention is always different. When the Lakurawas came in, the Lakurawas were established in Niger. Now, when those ones within the border area saw them, they were in trouble. They said, okay, no, why not come to Nigeria? Come to us and be friends. Let's work together. We're going to feed you. They started feeding them. When they couldn't feed them, they started tasking the locals. When the locals couldn't do, they now started attacking them. It's always like that.
Has Lakrawa been taken out?
No, we're on the process. A lot of inroads have been made on it, and then we'll continue to push it well. They are taking advantage of the forest. We have a very long forest, so when they go in, it's difficult to track them. But working with the intelligence and the troops, we're making inroads.
Serious. There are those who say you are from Kaduna State.
Yes.
And there's relative peace in Kaduna.
Yes.
Is it coincidence?
Well, I think it's what we did is that the non-kinetic effort does a lot. Does a lot. And again,
and where you come from, your area is the most embattled.
I'm from Zango. Yes, I'm from Zango.
Zango areas around the forest towards Katsina,
Zamfara, yes.
Very, very dangerous. And all of a sudden, we have a CBS from Kaduna, from Zango Qatar, and there is some kind of
it was the setup. It was the setup before now. There were individuals, they were pushing these things deliberately to make the area untenable. Deliberately. So the individuals were out and were able to come and talk to the people, say, look, we have to live in peace. Everybody has to shine his eyes. Anything you see, report. We now were able to look at the gaps that were existing and we make sure we block them. So we denied them the ability to get logistics, to move freely, and that was the trick. Those are the same things we're applying everywhere. So gradually, we're applying that in Kaduna. It's working. We're moving into Jos. We're moving into
Zamfara needs it a lot.
Yes.
And even Katsina.
And Katsina.
About 6-7 local governments in Katsina is very troubled.
Very well. And that's we're spreading it in quietly. The areas what's helping those areas is informants. The level of informants in these areas I've never seen. You are seeing people that are killing. Why are you supporting them? Why are you giving them support? They look at the number of troops. They tell them we have soldiers that are going there, 30 in number. They are moving in trucks. This is where they are going to. This is where that information is flowing to these guys as quickly. And then they want to react. And because there are many, You know, they are moving in the border, they cross quite easily and come in. So those are the areas we're putting. So Nigerians, and that's why I also said that it's important for us to start teaching security right from primary school. Our neighbors, if you go to them, they know what security is. If you go there as a foreigner, before you know it, they are calling the gendarmes on you. We have heard there's a foreigner here. What's he doing here? The gendarme comes to pick you, identify yourself.
Would you encourage an average Nigerian to learn combat skills, to learn how to protect themselves?
No, I think that one should be taken. Like learning driving, learning how to
combat skills,
how to swim.
Every parent should start teaching them.
It is a survival instinct. Forget even whether we have war or not. It's a survival instinct. And that's why you see in Europe, swimming is compulsory. Learning and teaching about security, because you have to know what security means. Sometimes you see individuals, you see somebody coming in, you don't know who he is, no background check, nothing. Even before independence, Africa, if you come into any community, people know, find out who are you, what are you doing. But nowadays, I don't know whether it is...
see something,
say
something.
something. No, that's how you help the security forces.
General, Nigerians continue to bury loved ones from terror attacks, from Plateau to Zamfara to Benue. How do you explain tonight to grieving families that the government is truly in control of this security crisis?
Yeah, because there's been a marked improvement. I mean, we cannot just, like I said, we cannot just stop it overnight. These guys, what they do is that they look for soft targets. These same informants will tell them there are soldiers here. They look for and identify where there is nobody, and they strike. Most of these areas, there is no network. Before you even get the information, they have gone. And before you react to those areas, you go. And that's why we're saying that it's important for us to have infrastructure, dividends of democracy. Because, again, that helps to ensure that people don't get recruited quite easily. Because it's this easy way of recruiting these people into the system that makes it a lot. We are taking out weekly so many, but you'll be surprised that so many are also coming in.
I was going to ask
and those are the issues on ground.
Yes, because President Tinubu, part of the promises before he got into office, and when he got into office, he promised to make security his #1 priority. More than a year later, 2 years after, kidnappings and mass killings still dominate the headlines. So why does it look like the reality is not matching the promises?
Yeah, but like I told you, there is never any country in the world that is crime-free. No country in the world, and it's not possible. As long as there's humanity, there will be crisis.
But would you say that Nigeria is safer today than it was 2 years ago?
There's a lot of improvement. The president is doing so much to support us. And again, you know, the humanitarian departments also being their own bit, and everybody trying to rally around. Like I said, it's a whole of society approach to this, not one-sided. Before now, people used to think it's just a military solution, but we said no. The non-kinetic effort does a lot in ensuring that people don't get recruited. And once they cannot be recruited, they cannot survive. And that's why it's important for the communities not to allow them thrive within themselves. There's a lot of things going on and a lot of actions being taken.
Give me a short moment, General. Let's get back to the conversation with the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. Thanks so much, General, for your time tonight. You look at what is going on, for example, it's been said that Karfi and Yaba wards of Malmfashi local government area in Katsina are being under siege for some time now. It's not new, and this attack was a retaliatory after local vigilante action. But why does it look that the military failed to intervene proactively in such a volatile area despite clear signs of escalation in tension, where some citizens said to have even called the attention of the military beforehand that this was going to happen?
You know, like I always tell people that maybe a lot of people think the military we're magicians. We're not. We're humans, just like anybody. And most times these areas where these things occur, no network or bad roads. So before the information gets on you, because even the terrorists, the bandits know, they come in quickly, strike 5 minutes, and they have disappeared because they have easy mobility to move out as quickly. I give you an example in the northeast. A distance of 10 kilometers, because of the IEDs that are being used, you have to get somebody with a hand prodder to walk ahead, scanning 10 kilometers to where you're going. If you speed up and you enter and you climb the IEDs, everybody in that vehicle is dead. Everybody. So sometimes you're also thinking because you have to stay alive to do your work. So these things are, some terrains you go there, they are absolutely impassable. On foot, yes, but that you are moving to respond as quickly as possible is a bit more difficult than people think. So the reactions are there, the timings are there, Most times before, like I said, before you get the information, it's actually quite late. But I can tell you the troops are doing well. And like I said, once they know that troops are here, somebody will tell them, so they go to a different place and with a distant area and strike. All they want is, one, to show that there's insecurity, for their own personal gains and whatever it is they want to achieve. So those are the issues we're doing. But
what about, General, what about digital and drone technology surveillance?
We're deploying all those ones. But again, even the drones, it can't be everywhere. It needs information so that it's precise. Otherwise, you waste the drone. It will just be hanging in the air and there's nothing. I give you an example. The price worth of a medium-range precision weapon for a drone is $100,000. One. So if you strike one, $100,000, how much is it in Naira?
It's about 150 million.
How many can you buy? So you have to be very careful as to where you use it to make sure that it's making the positive impact. Just last 2 weeks, we had a good strike where we killed over 100 of them, over 50 motorcycles. That is a good strike because the timing came in and we were ready for it, and the drone was there, and we took out.
What about our satellites? I know, so that we don't deceive ourselves. The NICOMSAT, I'm not sure they're active. The ones the Chinese hosted for us, we don't even have control over it, unfortunately. But we need the satellites to work.
The satellites are there. We see what we need. We need real-time satellites. When an operation, I tell you an example, when an operation is ongoing and you can see, your commanders can direct you, this man is moving here, these ones are deployed there, you can do good. But we don't have that. And these things are damn so expensive to get because we don't have them. So we have to rely on using those.
And some of these enemies, they capitalize on
all this
incapacity.
Good. Those are able to take advantage of.
Because, for example, I remember when some Americans were talking about the elite forces that came to extract an American in the Northeast region. It was monitored in DC remotely from Pentagon. It was monitored remotely, and the operation went without.
And do you know the amount of money that was spent in doing that?
Yeah.
Because they have the capacity, they produce the equipment they use. We don't do. We have to rely on buying. Sometimes even with your money, you can't get those equipments. Now with the Russian-Ukraine war going, a lot of equipments are difficult to come by. So that's why I'm happy that Mr. President has last year approved. After signing the DICOM bill, the Defense Industrial Bill, for us to now invite original equipment manufacturers, let's produce. Because when we produce, then we can get much at money's worth. If you don't, it's going to be extremely difficult. And so we're working on that, and that has really continued to. But
there are other markets. Turkey is there.
Even there, it's not easy to come by. Some of these things you pay, you have to wait a long time for these things to be produced. And so, but I think the trick out is for us to produce. Because once we start production, employment for us, we save our foreign exchange, we can also sell to our neighboring countries. And so it's a win-win thing. And I think that's what we are going to continue to work on. But on the general term, I think, again, to show that things are improving, the oil price is coming down, petrol is coming down almost on a weekly basis. The Naira is stable. The GDP has improved, even if it's slightly, but at least it has appreciated to show that things are really, really picking up. For the first time I was reading today, foreign reserve has climbed 41 billion, which is massive. And I think if we continue like this gradually, our oil production has increased to 1.8 liters beyond our OPEC quota. We are targeting 2.5, 2 million, 2.5. I think we can achieve that. To do that, again, we need all our oil wells to be working efficiently. And I think the president wants to go into that to ensure that all the oil wells have the right people that will operate them so that we can benefit from God-given talent. And we've been able to address this issue of bunkering. It has reduced to the maximum now. Stealing or theft of fuel has also increased. All the major producers are reporting green in all their pipelines, so they are producing 98% for the first time in a very long period of time.
We are anticipating 2 million barrels.
2 million barrels. We're targeting 2 million barrels, and at most, when all the oil wells are, we're targeting 2.53. Nigeria can achieve that. It's very possible.
Yeah, hopefully. And I don't want to sound like American President Donald Trump, but I'm hoping that this might also be an option, building walls in some part of the Northeast.
Well, we had my comment. That's what I preached. I said we should build walls from critical areas. Especially this 1,500 kilometers. If we're able to take it out and make sure we secure it fully. And it's not only the walls. When you put the walls, you have to use technology. Put cameras, put drones, so that anybody crossing is known. And again, I keep on saying, it's important that we must develop a database for Nigeria. We can never shy away from having a database for, and the only way we do that, let's compress every detail we have into one document. We know every Nigerian, we know how many vehicles, what house, what road, what street. When you go abroad, you commit a crime, there's a 50-50 chance that you'll be caught. It's not by magic. It's because they have your database, they have your number. All they require for you is you get your thumbprint or get your face or your signature, and they can track to where you are. We must be able to leverage on that and to develop.
Are you aware of what the Ministry of Interior, because I spoke with the Minister of Interior not long ago, Olubumi Tunji-Ojo, who said he couldn't speak so much about what some of the effort, but I said that there are effort in remotely and digitally monitoring our border space in this country. Are you aware of what?
No, we work together. We really exchange a lot of ideas together. We sit down to brainstorm on issues and ways forward on how to address these issues. And it's working. It's working quite very well. We need to do more. That's what we say. We need to scale up well and to assist them. If we have a database, it's easier for us to build so that everybody has a number as a Nigerian, maybe social security number like other countries when you do. So when you go, all you need is what's your social security number, and we're able to get details about you. If a vehicle is stolen, it's easier to track it. If something is done, it's easier to track it. We must be able, and I can tell you, without all these things, the police is still doing its best. So imagine they have a database that they could also refer to. It makes it a lot better.
The president promised boots on the ground. But that has not materialized.
No, we are.
How many soldiers have been employed in the last 2 years?
I can tell you we're improving by the day.
But how many?
No, I mean, those are figures you don't like giving out. It's not figures that you want.
But have we improved the number?
No, we have improved.
We're
improving, yes. And I can tell you, it's only the armed forces now that is doing massive recruitment, both in the officers' corps and for the soldiers, including the airmen and the ratings. We're doing massive recruitment. Now, the Nigerian Army has also established a second depot somewhere in the southwest, where we also, so it's not only the one in Zaria. Zaria produces about, let me say, 13,000 yearly. Now we're open another, we get an additional 13,000 coming from there. Then the Air Force, the Navy are also doing. I think the police is also doing immigration, and all the other ones are doing. We need to scale up, and I'm happy that we're doing it, because for us in the armed forces, we don't rush into recruitment. You have to get it right, because the ill-trained one is more dangerous than the bandit, because he could go in peacetime and cause a lot of havoc for everybody. So that's why it's painstaking that we do the training. And once you finish your initial training, you go for a further training. And before we now deploy you out, because we don't want things like accidental discharge and all this. And that's why you see that you hardly hear such things, because we view it seriously. For us in the armed forces, there is nothing like accidental discharge, because you must have taken the ammo, you must have put it in the magazine, you must have mounted, you must have opened the safety catch, you must have cocked and the trigger. So at what instance was it an accident? So these are procedures, and for us, it's a no-no. Anybody who commits that, no. So you can see that every military man knows the importance of his rifle. In fact, to us, we call them our wives, because that is your life. Anything you are doing, even if you are going to bait, your rifle must be with you.
I remember in our early days of military training, the rule of manning your equipment.
Yes.
The rule of manning your equipment had no. Even if there's crisis, your equipment must be
by your side.
And the way we were taught to carrying your camera and your tripod is to put it in your armpit. Yes. And I have a feeling that that's similar to the training.
The worst thing that happens
to you never should leave your equipment unmanned.
If you lose your rifle, you're gone. You're a gunner. If you lose your rifle, that's the worst offense you can ever commit.
So the promise made by the president is being fulfilled.
No, it's been fulfilled very well.
That we're having more
boots on ground, yes. And the equipments are also coming in. The Air Force is doing so well. We're getting more helicopters. We have bought more drones into the system. So we're now deploying them and making sure that they also operate optimally.
But General, to super tucanos, some of them, they almost became a shell because the manufacturers didn't give us full complement of this equipment.
Those are part of the issues. Those are part of the issues. It's part of the international system that works. But again, we're working towards that. I think efforts have been made. All the other gray areas have been ironed out.
Is this the same president in America that helped Nigeria,
so
that also sold it to us.
He's also
but we got on the ground and discovered that the Super Tucanos were more or less a shell that they sold to us.
No, they were brand new.
Yeah,
they were brand new.
But they didn't come with full complement.
Yes, they didn't come with all the complement. But again, we're getting them in gradually, and we're working towards. You know, recently, if you read the news, you saw that there's more ammunition have been released to us to buy. But like I said, as long as you are depending on somebody to provide weapons for you, you are going to remain a beggar. We must get our things.
Yeah. Reports show that Nigeria experienced more deaths from bandits and insurgents in the first half of 2025 than all of 2024. Yeah. 2,266 compared to 1,083 last year. Yet you also stated the military often aborts operations to avoid civilian harm, that is even at a tactical cost. How do you reconcile this rising death toll with your claim restraint, and what specific changes in tactics or training have followed?
That is it, because we are professional armed forces, we obey the law, so it makes it different. And then the person you are fighting knows the importance. So what he does, if you commit an offense, he gets into the civil within the crowd, and then it becomes a problem. If you strike, you become the enemy of the people. Everybody cries that you are killing innocent civilians. So you have to weigh both sides, and that's why we also preach that anyone found to be supporting these bandits and you are with them, you are a legitimate target and will definitely strike you. And that's why it's very, very important. And so for political reasons, most time when this happens, people want to make it look as if we're just going around and killing civilians. No. Most of these so-called civilians were the ones providing them fuel, providing them food.
But what about those infiltrators within the military?
No, those ones were, I mean, we recruit from the public.
Columnist.
We recruit from the public, so we cannot say we don't have. What we do and what works for us is that we identify them and we deal with them. We have standing court martials in all our operations. You commit an offense. If you go to most of our prisons, you see a lot of ex-military men while they're in prison. You commit an offense, we do not hide. And that's why you see the discipline level still up. Everybody tries to make sure that we live above board.
I need to go on another break, but before then, because of this security situation, so there are those who will say, maybe, just like we see in some countries like Israel, that as a young person graduates, that you have to serve compulsorily in the military as part of your compulsory service to the nation. Just like the
these are options. That's what the NYC is supposed to do. And you know, the NYC had been watered down to 3 weeks. I think it's important that we're able to give every Nigerian one security awareness at whatever level. Self-defense is very important. On armed combat, swimming, driving, these are critical aspects for human endeavor. Those are things we should never take for granted because it prepares you for the future. The world we are in now is dangerous. We have individuals that don't mean people well. They kill for whatever reason, and it is not only in Nigeria. I'm sure you know, even abroad, you see somebody will take a weapon, go to a school, and open fire on everybody. So there's a lot of psychological things. People, because again...
So you encourage self-defense?
No, self-defense, everybody is supposed to be ready to protect himself as an individual. So if it means you should take judo lessons, take karate lessons, make sure that you are physically fit to be able to withstand this, and don't want to take things...
But how do you withstand bullets? Well, self-defense in the face of...
You avoid where bullets will fly as much as possible, and I think those are the areas that we should. But I think that education on security is what we don't do.
All right, give me a moment,
we need to bring that.
Everyone for staying with us. Our closing moment with General Musa. In all of this, and you hear frustration in the voices of some governors who think that maybe the military dropped the ball, and you hear Governor Dawood Lawal of Zamfara say he was frustrated because bandits are better armed and coordinated than his local security forces. You acknowledge some of the frustration of these state governors and how they feel abandoned by the military.
It's not, well, the military will never abandon its own. I mean, we've done it in other countries, why not in Nigeria? So the question is why? What are the issues? You have a lot of people we have a lot of issues on illiteracy. People don't even understand what they are doing. And, you know, that's why it's important for citizens to see that infrastructures are coming in, things for them, the benefits they are getting. And it's supposed to be complementary to what the federal government is doing. Working together as a team, I think so. And these are years and years of abandonment that people have lost confidence. Now they're beginning to see actions being taken. Again, there's a lot of doubt. So we need to clear those doubts for them to do. But what I can tell you is that we are committed. The governor of Zamfara is somebody we know very well, and we work very, very closely together. In other governors, all governors in the country, we work together. We want to make sure that we maintain that confidence between us, working together as a team. And I think that's what we'll get better results.
What is the latest on Simon Ekpa?
Yeah, I think he's still been prosecution. He's still undergoing prosecution in Finland, and so we're hopeful. And you can see, because you know, when we talked about him, people felt we were just making noise. But since he had been arrested, Southeast is getting better, and the likes of him, we're going to go after them wherever they are, and whatever it takes, we'll bring them. And that's why the Ansaro guys too is a good win for all of us. Other ones who are following, the other ones that we don't talk about, we also look at them and be able to pull them out. And I think clearly we'll do that. And in order to achieve more, because no nation is an island, we are also organizing our African Chiefs of Defense Staff Conference starting on Monday, where all the Chiefs of Defense Staff in Africa, for the first time, coming to Nigeria for us to discuss, because we see that these insurgents are not respecting anyone. Mozambique, you can understand it. Mozambique is facing issues. Ghana is beginning to face issues. Burkina Faso, Mali, and all other areas. So it's important that we come together as brothers and sisters, discuss our problems, and provide solutions.
What would you say is the biggest gap or challenge in intelligence gathering?
I wish we could have satellites like you mentioned. With satellite imaging, you can see things directly and you can be able to react as quickly as possible. And these are things that are very expensive, not easy to come by, but we are building them. The NSA is doing a lot, the DSS, the NIA, and that's why you see we're getting a lot of successes. Like
but the president declared a state of emergency on security. We imagine that more funding, and it's this sad that we're talking about ill funding for the military.
The funding is good. The funding is good. Like I told you, one missile is $100,000. Imagine if you need to shoot to precision. You need to shoot to precision. Imagine you need to get this. You need to buy a drone. How much does a drone? You need to buy a ship. One ship could take 10 tankers of fuel. If it goes 5 hours, it's empty. Security is expensive. Budget last 2 years in America was $883 billion. They produce the equipment they're using. In Afghanistan, America was spending almost $1 billion a day. We can't afford to.
General, I'd like to put you on the spot so that we can close. Can you look Nigerians in the eye tonight, General, and as the #1 military officer in the land, and tell Nigerians that the country is safer now than 2 years ago? And if so, what evidence should citizens hold on to? Proudly so. Proudly so. I know we're doing better. I've traveled around this country, and everywhere I've been to, people commend us for the effort. Sometimes when you hear one attack, one strike, and you think, then in the past, it used to be rampant. Now it is slowing down. To tell you we're succeeding, markets are back, schools are opening, people go to church, people go to mosque. Yes, there will be attack. There can never be 100%. But I can tell you we're moving forward and we'll continue to do more. Is there anything that we should be hopeful about in the coming days? The Nigeria will get better. The government is working hard, the armed forces is working hard, and we all need Nigerians coming together to make sure, firstly, we must love each other. As Nigerians, and then we must protect ourselves, and we can succeed. General Christopher Musa, Chief of Defense Staff, thank you so much indeed. Thank you. And again, my regards and salute to all the comrades on the field who are fighting daily to keep Nigerians safe. Thank you very much. Our salute to you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sean. And God bless Nigeria. God bless. That's our show for tonight. I'm Sean Okimale. Bye-bye.